All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're not just talking about self-improvement. We're talking about a complete strategic framework for self-mastery. This is a blueprint for living life on your own terms, and it's inspired by some really powerful ideas from the philosopher Nietzsche, specifically his character Zarathustra. It's all about choosing a path of creation instead of just conforming.
So picture this. You're standing at a fork in the road. And this isn't just any choice. It's about the fundamental story you're going to live by. On one side, you've got the one we all know, the hero's journey. You know the drill, right? The hero leaves home, slays the dragon, and comes back to restore balance. It's all about putting things back the way they were. But then, there's the other path, the creator's path. And this one? It's not about fixing the old world. It's about building a brand new one from the ground up with total independence.
And look, the philosophy behind this framework doesn't pull any punches when it comes to the hero's journey. It calls it a recipe for comfort for people who are afraid. Wow. It's even described as a saccharine poison, like something sweet that feels good going down, but ultimately just keeps you safe and sound right back in the herd. It reinforces the status quo instead of pushing you to create something radically new. But that other path, the creator's path, that's a whole different beast. It's a climb you make alone. It's not about fixing things. It's about shattering old paradigms and building a new reality, purely from your own will. So if that's the path you're interested in, let's break down the actual strategic blueprint for how you make that ascent. So where do you even start on a journey like this? Well, stage one all begins with a single powerful act, rejection. And trust me, this isn't just some small first step. It is the fundamental move that makes everything else possible. You know, you can't build a skyscraper on a cluttered lot. You have to clear the ground first. And that's exactly what this stage is about. It's about rejecting what this framework calls the marketplace mindset. And what is that? Well, think about our culture's obsession with comfort, safety, and an easy life. It's all the life hacks and shortcuts designed to help us avoid struggle, instead of seeing that struggle is actually how we get strong. So to break free from that, you've got to do a serious personal audit. You have to get brutally honest with yourself. And it starts with this first question. Where in your life are you really prioritizing comfort over a genuine challenge? And let's take that a step further. Think about your goals, your ambitions. Are those goals genuinely yours? Or are they just about fitting in, about meeting the expectations of your family, your job, your friends? This next part of the audit really gets to the heart of it. It's about your relationship with difficulty itself. Look, the marketplace mindset tells you to hack your way around struggle, to avoid it. But the creator's path, it says struggle is the only tool for building real strength. Which brings us to the final and maybe most important question of this whole audit. Whose values are you actually living by? When you get right down to it, are they yours? Or did you just soak them up from your community, your industry, from everyone else?
Okay, so once you've done that honest audit, the next move is a conscious, deliberate break. This isn't about just thinking positive thoughts. No, this is a tactical strike. You actively identify a marketplace value you've been living by. Maybe it's safety or convenience, and you declare your commitment to its opposite, something like courageous risk or meaningful challenge. All right, on to stage two, the ascent and the three antagonists. See, by rejecting those external values, you've basically created a power vacuum. The war is no longer out there in the marketplace. Nope, the battlefield has just moved inside your own head. You've declared war on conformity, and now its internal agents are coming out to fight. And you're going to face three very specific opponents on this climb. But these aren't bad guys in a movie. They are the personifications of all the resistance you're going to feel. Let's meet them. The shadow, the soothsayer, and the spirit of gravity. First up is the shadow. We all know this one, right? It's that little voice inside your head that's always whispering, hey, why not just take the easy way out? It's the voice of complacency. It's the ultimate rationalizer, always trying to convince you to avoid the very challenges you need to grow. Next, you've got the soothsayer. Now, this one is external. It's the voice of pessimism that's all around us. It's the doom-scrolling newsfeed, the cynical coworker who says every idea is stupid, the whole cultural vibe that screams, why even try? It's all pointless anyway. It's that poison that makes you feel like any effort is just a waste of time. And finally, we come to the main boss, your chief opponent, the spirit of gravity. This is so much more than just being in a bad mood.
It's that deep, crushing force of resignation that makes life feel like a heavy weight on your shoulders. The source material literally calls it a squat dwarf riding on your back, making every single step of your climb feel impossible. Okay, stage 3, embodying the creator. Once you've faced down those antagonists, you've cleared the battlefield. The game changes completely. You're no longer just surviving or defending. Now you're shifting to a position of command. You stop reacting to what the world throws at you and you start creating your own reality.
At the peak of this climb, you hit what's called the great midday. It's this moment of incredible, blinding clarity. And in that moment, you face a choice about your very nature. Are you going to be the moon, just passively reflecting the light of other people, their ideas, their values? Or are you going to be the sun, radiating your own light, creating your own value from within? To become that sun, you have to master 2 symbolic tools. They work together. First, there's the eagle. This is your pride, your far-seeing vision that soars above the petty pessimism of the soothsayer. But vision alone is just a daydream, right? That's why you also need the serpent. The serpent is your earthy wisdom, your cunning, your practical, on-the-ground intelligence. It's the perfect weapon against that crushing spirit of gravity. You need both. One without the other is useless.
And that brings us to the final stage, stage 4, the ultimate test of eternal recurrence. You've defined your purpose. You've got your tools. Now you are ready to face the ultimate, most profound test of your commitment to this life you've created.
So this final stage isn't something you do. It's a crucible. It's a thought experiment that Nietzsche called the heaviest weight of all. It's called eternal recurrence, and it goes like this. Imagine a demon tells you that this life you're living right now, you will have to live it again and again for all eternity. Every single joy, every single pain, every single mistake, every moment, infinitely. Could you hear that and not be crushed, but instead shout yes with joy?
This question, it's the ultimate honesty test, isn't it? It forces you to look at the life you've built and ask, is this something I would just tolerate? Or is this a life I would joyfully choose again and again forever? Forget what you think you should feel. Your immediate, gut-level, honest reaction to that question tells you everything you need to know.
So what happens if you can genuinely, honestly say yes to that eternal recurrence test? Well, the transformation is huge. You stop being just a philosopher, someone who thinks about how to live. You become the dancer, someone who is actually joyfully living it in every moment.
And becoming that dancer, that's the final victory over the spirit of gravity. It's about finding lightness, laughter, and total creative freedom. You're not joyful because life suddenly got easy. Oh no. You're joyful because you have looked at every single part of your life, the good and the bad, and you have consciously, powerfully affirmed it all. So in the end, the journey doesn't stop. It just transforms into a dance. This framework, it's the map. The path is laid out. It's clear. So there's really only one question left. When does your dance begin?